Welcome back to another character creation tutorial. I'm Tracy Marr, and in this tutorial we're going to look at adding features to this character. We're adding the eyebrows, the eyes and the nose. So let's get started. Before we move on, I'm going to recommend that you tidy up your layers here. We'll name these by double clicking and renaming it face and renaming this hair. Okay, so now we'll select the icon here for a group and click it, and we're going to call this group the face features. And let's put these two layers here into face, base and hair. Okay, so let's now go ahead and start to add those features by working on the eyebrows. I'm just pressing Ctrl+ to zoom in, and let's again select the pen tool. Let's click on the canvas into a sort of long rectangular shape. Okay, so that's the outline of the eyebrow. Apologies. And let's double click on the thumbnail for the color and select the same color as the hair. By clicking the eyedropper tool on the hair, we can select the same color as the hair. So let's select OK. And what we want to do now is we want to curve up the eyebrows a little bit. So let's go and add an anchor point to the top and pull it up a little bit. And let's add an anchor point to the bottom and pull it up a little bit. Okay, so there we have an eyebrow. Let's call that eyebrow left. And let's simply drag the layer down and copy it onto this little icon down here. Select Ctrl+T, right click and select flip horizontal. And there we have the second eyebrow. Selecting Ctrl+T, and you see a little sort of corner arrow here appears, and that means we can now move that up a little bit and rotate the eyebrow. So let's do the same for the right eyebrow, Ctrl+T, and let's rotate that up a little bit. There we have the eyebrows, and let's now move on and do the eyes. Okay, so you can see that was very easy. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add his eyes. So let's select a white color for his eyes. So let's make sure this is white by clicking in FF. And let's then select the ellipse tool once again and drag a long sort of oval shape. Okay, so there we have the makings of one eye. I'm going to put the eye into a group of its own. So let's add eye left, and let's drag the shape we just created here into that folder. Okay, so that's the white part of his eye. Let's now do the same by adding a new ellipse for the brown part. Let's first select the brown color of his hair to match by just clicking on the swatches here and clicking the eyedropper tool onto his hair, and that automatically selects the color that you want to use. So let's drag another smaller oval here. And okay, it didn't select the colors. Let's double click on the swatch and click on the hair. Okay, we can move that around using the move tool. You can have him looking up or across or just straight ahead. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little small reflection onto his iris, which just gives a little bit of life to a character. So let's once again select the ellipse tool, and we're going to hold shift to make sure that it's a full circle that happens this time, not a distorted circle. So once again, click on the white color here by using the eyedropper tool, and you can then move around the little reflection to any direction you like. Okay, so let's just close the group layer and let's drag the group layer down onto the new layer icon, and let's just pull it straight across over here. And there we have the eyes on the character. Let's now move on and create the nose, and creating the nose is going to be a little bit different because we're not going to be using a shape. We're going to be using just the pen tool as a path. So we want to make sure that we've selected pen tool, and unlike the previous shapes we created, we don't want to select this fill in here, we just want the path. So select the second option here, and to create the nose we're going to stroke that path, and to do that we're going to need the brush setting at a very small pixeled brush. I have 3 pixels here and a soft brush. I've dragged the hardness slider up to 100%, so that'll make the brush very soft. Okay, so we also need to make sure that the nose is slightly darker than the color of the face in tone. So let's reference the color of the face by clicking on it, and then let's move down here and select a darker brown color. and click OK. So let's make a group for the nose because it's going to be in 3 parts. Let's double click and rename this nose. It's going to be this main part here, and then it's going to have these 2 nostrils at the side. So let's go ahead and create a layer and then select the pen tool, and let's now click anywhere on the canvas into a straight line, and let's right click and add an anchor point so we can add some curvature to the line. And let's sort of push this up a little bit so it sort of becomes more rounded. Pull it out by pulling on the handles to either side. And what we need to do now is right click on the path and select stroke path. Make sure that simulate pressure is selected and that brush is also selected and not pencil. So let's click OK. Let's click Ctrl H, and there we have the outline of the main part of the nose. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video while I repeat that to create the 2 nostril areas here. Okay, so you can see now that I've repeated the process very simply. I've copied the layer that I created for the left nostril and made it into the right nostril just by dragging down onto the new layer icon here and then flipping it horizontally by pressing Ctrl T and flip horizontal. So that's how I created the 2 nostrils fairly quickly and easily. And in the next video, we'll look at how to create that great big smiling mouth.